Sometimes you got to wonder about these individuals that are on the corporate press, the mainstream media, because they constantly expose themselves. When I say expose themselves, I guess I got to be kind of careful. They expose their inner feelings a lot of times while cameras are rolling, and they know cameras are rolling. And this happened actually today, where Jen Psaki on Meet the Press was talking about the fact that, Joe Biden should not be debating Donald Trump. And the fact that he said that he would in a live interview was very concerning. They're like, no, Joe Biden, he should not be anywhere near a debate with Donald Trump. And this actually happened on MSNBC where they were talking about this. But at the same time, they'll go on their programs where they're told what to say, the entire segment. And they will talk about how Joe Biden is the best, bet for the American people, for the United States. Yet, when they are talking amongst themselves, all of a sudden, these opinions change. It's almost like in the segments, they are told what to say. And then when they have, a little bit of wiggle room, talking in conversation amongst one another, their true feelings are exposed. But listen to this. Listen to Jen Psaki on Meet the Press.
I'm curious for what Jen Psaki's reaction would have been like if she was still in the White House when she heard President Biden blurt out during a live interview that he was going to debate. Because Biden folks don't want him to debate. They don't want to give Trump that platform and risk exposing Biden like that on national TV.
Except I was thinking if I was in my old job from 2 years ago, you also don't want him to say no because no is weak and no is fear. So you have to say yes.
So this gentleman who's speaking at first is basically saying you don't want Joe Biden to go anywhere near a debate with Donald Trump. And Jen Psaki says you also don't want him to say no. So she is agreeing with this individual saying, yes, you don't want him debating. You don't want him, talking with Donald Trump on live TV because that would be a travesty. But you also don't want him to say no. And this is something I was talking about the other day where Joe Biden can't go on an interview and say, no, I can't. I won't debate Donald Trump. He might say that, but he would have to give some sort of justification as to why he won't debate Donald Trump. And I believe that this would be some sort of moral posturing. I think we will see this in the future where they'll say Joe Biden will not debate Donald Trump because Donald Trump is such a bad person that we're not going to even entertain. We're not going to even get on the same stage as Donald Trump because Donald Trump is a fascist. He's all the bad things that you can think of wrapped up into an orange body. So I believe that's something that's going to come in the future. But it's just very interesting looking on the inside, these leftist news anchors, what they have to say, even when the cameras are rolling, and it's so starkly different from what they say during their segments. But the corporate press are not the only ones that have these thoughts about Joe Biden. They might be the only ones that really think it's funny, but true American people, you're starting to see it more and more and more, this shift in how people view Joe Biden. People see him as weak, people see him as feeble, but they also see him as this representation of everything that is going wrong in the United States today. This is Joe Biden when he made an appearance. And listen to the background. Listen to the people in the background. I'm going to bleep out some of these words that are in there. But the people that are just there, everyday people, are not very happy to see him. Watch.
Wow, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for nothing.
So that's what you have. Joe Biden going out, making a regular appearance, and he faces a barrage of FUs, thanks for nothing. These are regular people seeing Joe Biden. They see this guy who represents to them an individual who just occupies a seat in the White House. He is not actually doing anything of consequence himself. He allows himself to be controlled by his administration, and the administration allows themselves to be controlled by institutions and, the deep state, whoever else is out there in the background. And people are starting to wake up to this fact, and they might not know exactly who is pulling the strings, but Joe Biden is the one who is at the tip of the spear. He is, the face of it all. So they have to direct their vitriol at least somebody. And of course, Joe Biden is the one that they are directing it at because he shouldn't be in office. He is ruining the United States, and he is walking around out of his mind, oatmeal brain. And even when someone yells F you at him, he still kind of looks a little bit out of it like, oh, F you, what does that even mean? And then I think he has a couple, moments of clarity there where he's like, oh, shoot, they're yelling at me. And then he just snaps back into his stupor and keeps going. But even though Joe Biden is a train wreck as a president, this shouldn't give you any comfort, because regardless of this fact, he has the entirety of the deep state and the government behind him to get him reelected. Listen to Charlie Kirk talking about this. And guys, when I heard this, it really scared me. And if you are a voter, if you are someone who goes out and votes for the primaries, for the presidential elections, for your local elections, that is not going to be enough for this upcoming presidential election. You must do more. You must register people to vote. You must tell people how important it is to vote in this election, because we are facing something that we have never faced before. Listen.
We cannot compete against a $6 trillion federal budget that is deployed for Joe Biden's reelection. Imagine getting a letter from the Indian Arts and Crafts Board saying, hey, have you registered to vote yet? And not only is it voter registration and voter mobilization, no. This is targeted just towards underprivileged communities, aka Democrat base voters. The James Madison Memorial Fellowship Foundation, the Marine Mammal Commission. Did you guys even know that existed? Hello, I'm from the Marine Mammal Commission. Have you turned in your ballot yet? Hi, I'm from the Medicare Payment Advisory Commission, and we're here to do voter registration. You laugh, but imagine if you're from the Medicare Payment Advisory Commission, you could probably get access to nursing homes. I'm not kidding. You could probably go collect and ballot chase in nursing homes and do what is called granny farming. The New York Times called it that. Or the Military Compensation and Retirement Modernization Commission. Go to Air Force bases. Go to Luke's Air Force Base here in Arizona and ballot chase there. Or how about the National Council on Disability? You can go to homes where people are recovering from disabilities. It's easy to make fun of some of these agencies, but they can gain access to underprivileged communities and ballot chase and ballot harvest for the President of the United States. This is flipping illegal, what Joe Biden is doing.
Yeah, so that's what we're up against, guys. We're up against an absolute monstrosity of a machine trying to reelect this guy who can barely talk, who can barely think, who can barely walk. It doesn't matter to him that he is this way. In fact, I always say this is a feature, not a bug, because he is one of the most controlled presidents to have ever taken the office, and that is what they want. This is so valuable to them that they are willing to risk putting Joe Biden up for re-election. It's a high-risk play. It is a high-risk play, but what do they say? High risk, high reward, and that's what they are betting with Joe Biden, because another 4 years, they get just about everything they can ever want. But what do you guys think about this? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.